Hello and welcome to SGPN's Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick and plays for Monday, June 30th, 2025. End of the month, we're already here. I'm going to give you my favorite Underdog fantasy pick and plays for this day. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. Get a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. That is the best promo code out there, so you might as well use it if you're new to Underdog. And if you're an existing user, make sure you're checking the app every day because there's randomly, free picks. There's boosts. I think I saw a random 60% boost I had over the weekend. Definitely got to use those where you can. And you know what? We gave out some winners on Friday, and if you boosted those, you'd be in a really good place right now. So we've got MLB today. We got pitchers. We got the soccer with the FIFA Club World Cup going on, and then also Wimbledon. I love Wimbledon. Wimbledon's one of my favorite events of the year. So we got Wimbledon tennis picks, then the Lotto and the Dong squads per usual. Let's start out with MLB, like usual, every day, pretty much start with the MLB 2 pick entries. And these are where you should be putting the most of your bankroll, these, and then the pitcher entries as well. Those top 6 there is where you probably have like 60 to 80% of your bankroll going just in those right there. So let's start with Willson Contreras, higher than 1.5 total bases against the Pirates and Andrew Heaney. There's a lot of love I have for hitters in this game. Just because there's a lot of familiarity with these pitchers and these teams. They've both been around for a long time. Fedde and Heaney have been good, but not great this year. So I think the batters are going to have a good time. Going to be 8 in the 80s in Pittsburgh. Also, that doesn't hurt the offensive production either. So Willson Contreras higher than 1.5 total bases. He is obviously a very good player. He's oh God, we're about to have a cat interfere with the show. Contreras has only seen Heaney 3 times, but he's got a hit, and it was a double in that one hit against Andrew Heaney. But Contreras is a very dangerous player that I think is going to do well in this lefty versus righty matchup. Continuing, we're going to go with Kyle Schwarber higher than 0.5 RBIs. Yes, he's probably batting in the 2-hole, but the good news is Trey Turner has been heating up in the last month or so. Trey Turner gets on base. There's a lot of ways for Kyle Schwarber to get that RBI, and also Marsh batting in the 9-hole. So, once the game gets underway out of the first inning, having 2 guys with speed like Trey Turner and or Brandon Marsh potentially on base, that is huge for Schwarber's ability to get an RBI. Obviously, you can get a home run as well and just do it that way. So Willson Contreras higher than 1.5 total bases. Kyle Schwarber higher than 0.5 RBIs, 3.49x multiplier. Continuing with MLB entry number 2, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He's going against Carlos Rodon. Rodon has been very good this year, just a 2.92 ERA. The thing is Vladimir Guerrero is 8 of 12 against Carlos Rodon, 6.67 ERA, 66%. He's got a home run. He's got 2 doubles. He's got 5 singles. So he is very comfortable in this matchup. And obviously, I don't think Rodon's going 7-8 innings in this game. So he'll also get a chance to try out the bullpen. Higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for Vladimir Guerrero. Then Yandy Diaz, higher than 7.5 fantasy points against the Athletics. Lopez has been good in his last several starts, but I don't know if he's always going to be good. And also 7.5 fantasy points can be gotten without blowing up Lopez. I mean, he's not going to stay that long in this game. This guy's a former bullpen pitcher. I mean, he's gone 7 a couple times, but again, I think Diaz is going to be able to get enough hits, maybe steal a base, maybe it's some RBIs. So 7.5 fantasy points for Yandy Diaz. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, 3x multiplier. Continuing, MLB number 3, Mike Yastrzemski higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. My goodness, the Giants need to wake up offensively. They're going against Ryan Nelson, a pitcher they're familiar with in division. Yastrzemski, the lefty, versus the righty Nelson. Very good matchup here for him. I think Yastrzemski's going to have higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Pairing that with Jarren Duran, higher than 8.5 fantasy points. Duran has actually been getting on base more often lately. He's getting back in the swing of things, and he gets to go against the young Chase Burns, rookie pitcher for the Reds. His first start was not that great. I don't think it's necessarily a good spot to rebound either. He went 5 innings with 3 earned against the Yankees. So it's not like he was getting blown up there, but Jarren Duran is a unique animal the way that he can hit and run. So I like Jarren Duran higher than 8.5 fantasy points here. That with Yastrzemski higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs is a 3x multiplier. MLB number 4. Drew Rasmussen higher than 5.5 strikeouts. I generally don't play the pitcher strikeouts all that much. It's just not a market that I have much eye on. But I look at Rasmussen's history, and he's had 5 strikeouts exactly in his last 2 starts. He's had a couple with 3. His peak this year was 8, and he's had a couple 7 strikeout games as well. The Athletics strike out a lot. They got these young, aggressive batters that swing at a lot of pitches that they maybe shouldn't, that obviously yields to higher strikeout numbers. So I really do think that there's a good chance for Rasmussen to get over his, your average a little bit here and get 6 strikeouts in this matchup. Because again, it's the matchup here. So Drew Rasmussen higher than 5.5 strikeouts here. Pairing with Bryan Reynolds, another guy who's woken up finally for the Pirates, higher than 7.5 fantasy points. Bryan Reynolds was a big part of this show last year. He started pretty bad this year. I mean, he's batting like 240 right now, 239, something like that. But this weekend series, something awoke in him. I think that the consistency is going to continue, and his numbers are going to get back up on track towards what we've seen in the last several years, higher in the 270s on average. He's got a lot of work to do to get there. But, water finds its level, and he's a better batter than a 240 batter. So I'm going to take Bryan Reynolds against Eric Fetty, higher than 7.5 fantasy points, with Drew Rasmussen higher than 5.5 strikeouts, a 3.45x multiplier. All right, pitchers entries. Carlos Rodon, Max Scherzer, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. We know Scherzer can allow a home run at first inning and then get back on track, no problem. And Vladimir Guerrero and some other guys on this Blue Jays team are comfortable hitting against Carlos Rodon. So I think there will be a first inning run there in the Rogers Center in Toronto. Jacob Lopez, Drew Rasmussen, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. You know that I like Yandy Diaz. Hopefully he gets on base but doesn't score in the first inning so that we get those fantasy points from the other entry. But Drew Rasmussen, get some strikeouts here. Let's get 3 strikeouts in the first inning. That would be beautiful. And again, I think Jacob Lopez can keep things under control for at least an inning here. 3x multiplier. Pitchers number 2. Eric Fetty, Andrew Heaney, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. I believe that I just think familiarity breeds contempt, and I believe that contempt is going to yield to balls flying out of the park in the first inning here. So Fetty, Heaney, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Then I'm taking Trevor Rogers and Patrick Corbin, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed in the Rangers versus Orioles game. Orioles found some offense in that Rays series, but again, Corbin has been pretty good this year. He's been left for dead, and he is much better than I think anyone expected this year. And then Trevor Rogers been very good in his short sample so far this year for the Orioles. I think that they will get out of the first inning clean. That also is a 3x multiplier with Fetty, Heaney, higher 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Rogers, Corbin, lower 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Let's get to the FIFA Club World Cup. This has been a very fun event, and it's starting to see the separation with the European clubs once we're into this knockout round. Their effort is a little bit higher. And on that note, I'm going to take Inter's Lautaro Martinez higher than 0.5 goals and assists, and Man City's Bernardo Silva higher than 0.5 goals and assists. He's got 1 assist in 2 games so far. But again, I think that in this matchup, he's going to wake up because it's time for the true high price teams to separate. Al Hilal has been pretty good at playing defense, but I don't think they're going to have enough against Man City. And then same thing, Inter against Fluminense. We'll be picking on that one again. So I'm going to take Fabio higher than 1.5. Sorry, that's a 3.21x multiplier. Lautaro Martinez higher than 0.5 goals and assists. Bernardo Silva higher than 0.5 goals and assists. I said that I'm going to take another one, and that is true. I'm going to take Fabio higher than higher than 1.5 goals against. He's the goalie for Fluminense. I believe that Inter is going to score 2 on him at least here. I know Serie A is a little bit technical, not necessarily high pace, but hey, you know that I already like Martinez to get involved in a goal. That pairs well with this other entry. Then I'm going to take Yacine Bunu, who's a name that it's hard for me to pronounce, but he's the goalie for Al Hilal, higher than 2.5. Higher than 0.5 first half goals allowed. I think he's going to allow a goal in the first half. This is only 2.01x multiplier, but it's not only about the it's not only about the big payouts. We get the big payouts later. Let's go to Wimbledon. Alexander Zverev higher than 14.5 aces against Arthur Rinderknecht. Rinderknecht is not a guy that is going to be worried about return too much. He wants to hold serve and then turn it on in the tiebreak. Z is one of the best servers in the game. Give me Alexander Zverev on the grass course of Wimbledon higher than 14.5 aces. Then I'm going to take Taylor Fritz lower than 44.5 games played for Fritz. Fritz has had a very good grass season so far. I think that Fritz is going to get this thing done in probably 3 or 4 sets. I don't think there's necessarily going to be as many tie breaks as you expect against Giovanni Mpessi Pericard, one of my favorite young players. He's not adapted to the grass game somehow, despite his game being perfectly suited for it. So this should be pretty short, 1 break each set. Probably going to be It's going to be done, I think, in 4 sets here. So give me Taylor Fritz lower than 44.5 games played. That with Alexander Zverev higher than 14.5 aces, 3.3x multiplier. Wimbledon number 2, Katerina Siniakova higher 0.5 sets won against Qinwen Zhang. Siniakova very good on grass, and also Zhang not had the greatest grass season. I mean, she's obviously a top flight player. I'm not trying to disrespect her, but Siniakova is 2-0 against her on grass, so I think she definitely can win a set here. Pairing that with Amanda Anisimova higher than 21.5 games played against lower than 21.5 games played. And Amanda Anisimova, lower than 21.5 games played versus Yulia Putintseva. Putinseva's grass season has been terrible. I think Amanda Anisimova is going to have too much for her there. 2.19x multiplier. All right, let's continue to Lotto entry number 1. Alja Tomljanovic, lower than 0.5 sets won against Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. That's another Wimbledon entry. Pavlyuchenkova surprised some people in her grass swing. Alja is just not a player I like at all. So Tomljanovic lower than 0.5 sets won against Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Pairing that with Trey Turner higher than 1.5 runs scored. And then Alejandro Kirk higher than 0.5 RBIs, 29.94x if it goes 3 for 3. Flex it 14.97x if it goes 3 for 3 on the flex, 3.81 if it goes 2 out of 3 on the flex. Dong squad number 1, Nick Castellanos, powers waking up higher than 0.5 home runs. Giancarlo Stanton, he's got to get his first home run sometime. He should do it against this guy. Max Scherzer, who's hit 4 home runs off in the past. Ceddanne Rafaela, also his powers waking up higher than 0.5 home runs. 120.34x if it goes 3 for 3. Flex it. I recommend flexing it. 60.17x or 9.97x if it goes 2 out of 3 on the flex. Dong squad number 2, Yandy Diaz. I like Yandy Diaz higher than 0.5 home runs. O'Neal Cruz higher than 0.5 home runs. He came back strong after being in timeout. His Sunday stat line, very good. Trent Grisham higher than 0.5 home runs as well. Another guy trying to pick on Scherzer there. 97.46x or flex it 48.73x, 6.88x if it goes 2 out of 3 on the flex. All right, that's all I got for you today. Good luck on your picks, and let's make some money.